Blizzard used to be the king of the PC gaming world. Every time they released a game, it basically ruled the genre it was in. StarCraft and Warcraft dominated the RTS scene. WoW smashed the MMO player base records. Diablo 1 basically created the action RPG genre, and Diablo 2 blew up to the point that many refer to it as the grandfather that set the gold standard for action RPGs today. But then something happened to this once great king. Blizzard started to stumble and drop the ball repeatedly with their lack of content, their rocky launches, and even leaving some of their franchises out to dry. But what could this mean for Blizzard's upcoming Diablo 4 release? Will this be a game that finally puts Blizzard back on the map and have the king reign once again? Or will it be another overhyped game that slowly bleeds players due to Blizzard's slow development times and shady business practices? Alright, so before we take a deep dive into the world of Sanctuary, I would just like to take a moment and welcome anyone new to the channel. If you are new and do happen to enjoy the video, please consider liking and subscribing. I got a ton of stuff in the works that I would love to share with you all. Also, feel free to leave a comment down below. I always enjoy seeing everyone's opinions on any video that I put out. But without further ado, we got a lot to get into, so let's get into it. So, all signs are pointing that Diablo 4 will be released in the first half of next year, which is basically right around the corner. And this is very exciting news for fans of the series. But as always, we should take a step back and look at a company's history and see if what they're saying about their upcoming launch matches their past accomplishments with their previous games. So there are some major areas of this game that they've talked about that sound good on paper and in their interviews, but looking at their previous track record, I'm not fully convinced yet. So I want to go over these point by point and kind of discuss why I am concerned as a consumer and a fan of the Diablo games. So ladders, seasons, leagues, no matter what you call it, the resets are one of the most important things of any game in the action RPG genre. These games are the most fun when everyone is starting fresh and racing to get the best gear, the highest level, or to get the first Uber kill. Now, Diablo 4 is said to have 4 seasons a year. So a new season about every 3 months. The first season is said that it will take place soon after the launch of the game. This way players can enjoy the game, learn it before the seasonal rush begins. Each season is going to bring new major features, quest lines, enemies, legendary items, and even more. Now, before we get beyond excited, because this does sound like a dream come true, let's take a step back and look at how Blizzard handled the launch and support for Diablo 2 Resurrected. D2R was released on August 13th, 2021, and the original plan was to have 3-month ladder resets, with the first ladder launching soon after the launch of the game. At least that was the plan. The first ladder started on April 28th, 2022, 8 months after the game's launch. I don't know about you guys, but that is not soon after launch. That is almost an entire year later. And remember that 3-month time period for ladder resets? That got pushed to 4-month ladder resets. But unfortunately, Blizzard could not even keep up with that timeline. D2R Ladder Season 2 started on October 6th, 2022, just about 6 months later. So the 4-month plan of ladder resets for Diablo 4 is not looking very good at the moment. Now, let's move on to this exciting new content that Blizzard is supposed to be dropping on Diablo 4 every 4 months. Let's take a look at Blizzard's track record with adding content to their games and see if they could do it at a decent pace. Let's take a look at World of Warcraft. Since it's Blizzard's only subscription-based game, and you would think since players are paying a monthly fee that Blizzard would feel obligated to add content at a relatively quick pace. So here are several graphs that represent every major patch for every expansion that WoW has had, from vanilla up to Shadowlands. As you can see, there have been times when WoW has had a content drought that has lasted over well over 300 days. Imagine paying a subscription fee on top of buying the game and the latest expansion, only to have to wait almost an entire year for new content to drop. That is insane. This is not a fluke either. There have been several times the game has had content droughts that have lasted for hundreds of days. This just shows the slow development time that Blizzard has had. It is very unfortunate, because this does not put me in good spirit that they're going to be able to deliver new content at a decent pace for Diablo 4. But maybe ladders or seasons take a while to start. Maybe the content is a slow drip feed. Let's talk about the game's difficulty settings. So Diablo 4 is said to have different world tiers, and as you make a character, you unlock tiers 1 and 2, and as you progress your character and get more powerful, you fight bosses, and if you defeat the boss, you unlock higher world tiers so your character could take even on greater challenges. Now this actually sounds pretty cool. In fact, on paper, this sounds amazing, but ask yourselves, do you like the system of Diablo 3? Because depending on how this is implemented, it could be exactly the same thing as Diablo 3. When you first make a character in D3, you have several difficulties already unlocked from the get-go. And as your character levels and progresses in power, you fight bosses. The only difference is you fight these bosses in a greater rift. We don't know how you're going to battle these bosses in Diablo 4. So it could be almost be the same exact system of D3 to unlock new difficulty tiers, and if that is the case, I'm going to be massively disappointed. Alright, but now let's discuss the big elephant in the room and my biggest concern about this game, and that is the season pass, aka battle pass, and the cash shop. Let's start with the cash shop. So Blizzard has said the items in the shop are cosmetic only, and nothing purchased will have any effect on gameplay or have any in-game stats that you could unlock. So I have no complaints about that. I'm not a fan, but I know in today's world companies have to make money. But there is a problem I do have with the cash shop already, outside of I don't like shops in general. The fact that you cannot use your cash to directly buy the skins or cosmetics you want. You use your cash to buy premium currency and use that currency to purchase items, and I hate this system. The reason I hate this system so much is because it is a cheap tactic that companies use to try to trick or deceive consumers. For example, let's say you want to buy a skin that costs 10,000 points of this premium currency, and you go to buy a 10,000 point pack. Unfortunately, the store doesn't offer a 10,000 point pack. Let's say you can only buy 8,000 points or 12,000 points. Either you're going to have to buy two 8,000 point packs, or you're going to buy a 12,000 point pack, which means no matter which way you take it, you have leftover points in your account. So either you overpay for the skin you want, or you start buying more and more packs because you're trying to manage buying skins and the point system. No matter what, the gamers lose. In fact, these point systems they try to become so complicated that you don't realize how much money you're actually spending on the skins themselves. As for the battle pass system, there is two different tiers, a free tier and a paid tier. Now the paid tier is said to only have cosmetics and premium currency that you unlock as you progress through it. While I'm not a fan of this, if that's all it is, I can live with that. But in a game that's all about the look and having your character look cool, it worries me that so many cosmetics are going to be locked behind the battle pass or microtransactions. Because the last thing I want is to be like, hey, I want to just find my items and try to make my character as awesome looking as possible, and your character always looks like garbage because all the cool skins are locked behind the store and cash purchases, which would be a real shame. Really quick, it is worth mentioning and bringing up Diablo Immortal. Before the launch of the game, Blizzard came out and said that you will not be able to buy items in Diablo Immortal's cash shop. But people quickly realized while you may not be able to buy items, you could buy insane amounts of power with the gem system in the game. And once even being called out, Blizzard doubled down and said they never lied. In fact, you can, because all they said is you couldn't buy items. This honestly felt like a slap in the face and a play at word. This is not a court case. We are just consumers going in and having good faith with the publisher that they're not lying to us about what's actually in the game or the shops that these games have. When they said that you could not buy items, they knew people would take it as them saying Diablo Immortal was not a pay to win game. And unfortunately, Diablo Immortal is insanely pay to win. So we cannot even take Blizzard at face value because there might be some loophole in their wording, and after it comes out, they might just say, hey, we didn't lie, you just didn't realize that there was this loophole in the first place. So those are my biggest concerns about the game. I will say, I want to make it abundantly clear, I hope this game is successful. I hope this game is phenomenal. I love this franchise. In fact, I want to see Blizzard bring back all their games. I hope Dragonflight is everything WoW players want in an expansion. I want to see Blizzard be great again, to be honest, and I'm so sick of them seeing dropping the ball, or them just, it feels almost like they lack the passion and fire that they once had. But that's all I really gotta say about this topic, guys. Feel free to leave a comment down below. As I said before, I always enjoy hearing your feedback or your opinions on any of these matters. But anyways, I got a lot to do, so I'm gonna get back to the grind, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.